Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining me for another video. Today we're going to talk about a recent interview that pro bodybuilder Ronnie Coleman and Joe Rogan had on Joe Rogan's podcast. And this was a really interesting video. There was a lot of good insight and I actually really enjoyed it, but there was something questionable that Ronnie Coleman said at one point. For the actual training clips today, we have a clean and jerk day for me with a little bit of accessory work, so let's get right into this with that clip from the Joe Rogan show.
And you would get down to what percent body fat?
I was 0.33.
0.33. What does that mean? Is that less than 3%?
That's less than 0.5%.
Less. 0.33. Like what?
0.33.
How does a human get that low?
I gotta attribute it to my genetics.
Oh, Ronnie Coleman, you gotta contribute it to your genetics. I find that part of the video extremely funny, but even more so, I find the part where Joe says 0.33%. Is that even possible? How is that? He's just so baffled by it, and it's incredibly funny. But there's definitely some issues with that statement of Ronnie saying that he was 0.33%. Now, I don't think anybody's denying that they get that low when it comes to their body fat percentage when they're competing, but it's more or less the extent to how low they get. Now, for those of you who are not kind of into the fitness scene or don't know a lot of general knowledge about fitness, 0.33% is literally impossible when it comes to fitness. So when we're actually talking about how much body fat you need, it is kind of subjective on two different things. So the first thing we'll talk about is just essential body fat. So essential body fat is basically referring to the minimum amount of body fat that one needs to basically live, not necessarily have a good quality life, but this is just live to function and just continue normal bodily functions. And for men, this is about 3 to 5%, and for women, this is roughly 10 to 13%. So it's a little different. Women typically have a little more, and this is somewhat arguable, but not entirely. Mainly the reason for them having more is due to their childbearing properties to kind of assist with that if there's complications. So that's kind of the biological evolutionary view, I should say. But yeah, so assuming Ronnie Coleman, even if he was at his leanest, he was claiming that he was 0.33% compared to 3%, which is said to be the lowest for males. And I would honestly assume that at his leanest stages, he probably was close to 3%. But if he was at 0.33%, he would literally be dead. There would be absolutely nothing going wrong in his body. And even at this 3%, him being at his lowest, still a lot of men and potentially women, they'll show a lot of reproductive issues, they'll show a lot of lethargy, energy issues. Their quality of life at that level, even if they are able to live at that really low percentage of body fat, their quality of life and overall ability to do anything is vastly compromised. So although I don't think Ronnie intentionally tried to sound kind of dumb in this sense, I think he might just be a little ignorant on the subject because his main object was to just lift weights. But yeah, in addition to this, he could have potentially gotten a slightly different reading from different types of body fat percentage calculators. So for example, there's the BodPod. This is air displacement plethysmography, and basically that is a way to get your body fat percentage. In addition to this, there's water displacement, there's body fat calipers, there's bioelectric impedance, a lot of different ones. And all these different models are they're just estimates. So anybody could have a potentially 1, 2, 3, or even 5% variance in what their actual body fat estimate is. So it's a good model to go from, but at the same time you got to look at it just as that. It's just an estimate. It's not exactly right, and there's a good chance that if Ronnie's one of Ronnie's things told him he was getting 0.33% body fat, that this shows how great that error actually is, and that likely he was more towards the 3% range. Anyways, we're finishing up this video. I hope you enjoyed it all. If you have any questions or just any insight into Ronnie Coleman and kind of how he does things, I would definitely go check out that Joe Rogan video. He had some pretty interesting discussions and topics. I'll go ahead and link that one below. And he actually had a couple more different interviews on his steroid use and stuff. So, yeah, thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining me for another training blog. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.